Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. My name is David Hodge, active NGO warrior, representing Master Suleiman, the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals. This is wartime. This is a continuation of the seven churches, which you can find in Revelations, which is the NGO, chapter 2 and 3. Before I start, I'd like to remind my people about the Holocaust. The Holocaust. This is the black men and women of America's true experience. They whitewash it and call it slavery. Slavery is not a good definition or expression of our true experience because it doesn't cover the full detail. It leaves out the part 2 that we went through. It has nowhere in the definition or the expression does it cover our affliction. See, brothers and sisters, we were afflicted as well, which was the bigger percentage that we endured. Slavery was just the 1% that we went through, which was the economic side. It was maximum profit, minimum overhead, meaning that they gave us the scraps, the bare minimum, the hand-me-downs, the stuff they didn't want. They gave us just enough to survive. But they're saying that your experience was 100% slavery. That you were in a system practicing owning slaves. That you had to endure exhausting labor and be restricted of freedom because you were a slave by law. That you were enslaved and held or owned as human chattel or property in bondage. Legally, brothers and sisters, this is what they law. This is what they had set up for you. So by law, you were property, chattel. You see, deprived of rights, legally owned by another human, forced to work and obey them. You see, under the owner's control, was forcing you into servitude with the bare minimum, the minimum amount, and you were forbidden to quit your service. So this is what they're saying your true experience is. So if that's the case, brothers and sisters, what is this that I'm showing you right here in front of you? What's this part? This was part of our experience as well. So why did they leave it out? Why do they hesitate to talk about it? Why do they want it? Why are they keeping it from us? Why are they keeping it from their children? Why don't they tell you about it? Why wouldn't they tell you about it when we was growing up in school, or when our parents was growing up in school, or their parents? You see? Why weren't they talking about this horror that they inflicted on us for nearly 500 years? Why did they leave this out, brothers and sisters? What are they trying to hide from? What are they trying to cover up? What are they doing lying? Why are they lying? What's the big deal on them lying? Why would they not be proud of what they did to us? They did it, didn't they? So why call it a theory? You see, why call our experience a theory? Did this look like a theory to you, brothers and sisters? Did this look like something that they made up? Something that's made up? Something that coulda, mighta? We don't really know how it happened. This look like they could have just made this up. When these are actual facts, was nothing theoretical about this. This was 99% of our true experience, our physical treatment, brothers and sisters. This was the Holocaust. This is what we endured, the biggest percentage. This is the 99% that they're hiding from you, brothers and sisters. The murder, rape, genocide, torment, torture, abuse, misery. So nowhere in the definition of slavery will you find those words. You won't find those words nowhere in there. And that's exactly why slavery is not a good definition or expression of our true experience, because it leaves out the torture. It leaves out the abuse, the affliction, the horror. This what you see right in front of you, brothers and sisters, which is your true experience. It don't tell you that they sodomized us. It don't tell you that they castrated us, dismembered us, disemboweled us, dismantled us, amputated us, decapitated us, beat us, bashed us up, whipped us, beat us, deceived us, fed us like pigs, treated us like animals, turned us into animals, put us in cages, put us in zoo-like settings, put us in shacks and sheds on top of one another, in shackles and chains, feeders, jingle bells, keeping us separate from one another, from the women and the men, keep the men and women separated, you see, so we couldn't reproduce, because he wanted to annihilate us, take us out of existence, and make our woman and our women children bear his seed. He raped our women and children and had them carry his children, which are called demons, because you are what your father is, and they're devils. So a devil impregnating an original woman, they make demons, half devil, half man, tar babies, Oreos, black on the outside, white on the inside, wolves in sheep clothing. You see, this is your true experience. So they made our women produce a people that was not us, look like me and you, but they ain't us, and they were dangerous, and they were destructive to our nation. They still are today. We're still experiencing this situation because we've been purged. You see, we've been plagued by demons interfering with us connecting, us uniting, us getting together, us getting the hell out of here, because they want to stay here because they have the same mind as their devil fathers to stay here. So they're the ones manipulating you. They're the pastors, the preachers, the ones selling you false dreams and hopes, taking your money, causing you to go against yourself. The same ones in Master's house, same ones today. Celebrities, entertainers, politicians, superstars, the people in the public's eye, same deal. Was doing better than us, treated better than us, eating better than us, dressing better than us. Same deal, brothers and sisters. We was the field niggas, they was the house niggas. Nothing has changed. It's just modern day. But you don't know these things because they don't teach it. But they don't know nothing about it anyway. They know too. They know just a certain amount to a certain extent. But they know they raped our women. They know that those are their children that they don't claim. You see? So you have to ask yourself, why? Why are they hiding these things from us? Why are they calling our experience a theory? Why are they disrespecting us? Why are they trying their best to keep this quiet? Why don't they tell you that they hung you, starved you, cut you open, peeled you alive, gutted you? Why don't they tell you that? They burnt you alive, cooked you alive, made you unrecognizable, used your children as sex objects, raped your whole family. You see? Why don't they tell you all that? That they fed your children to gators, used your skin and hair to make puppets and material objects, completely dehumanized us past imaginable. Why don't they tell you? It's because they wasn't supposed to do this, brothers and sisters. They wasn't allowed to do this to us. This is what they wasn't allowed to do. So all these little things That's how they look at it, these little things. Well, we'll see if the cost of what you did is little. Because they think they got away with this. They think that they justified it in the name of Jesus. You see, they think that they was doing God's work when they did this. They were saying that we was the monsters, the beasts, the animals, but they was the one raping us, right? So what are you doing raping animals and beasts and monsters if that is what you said we were, savages, uncivilized, right? What was you doing acting in your manner? I thought you was angelic. I thought you was of God, God-fearing people. So what is God-fearing people doing this for? You see? Because it was the opposite day, brothers and sisters. These people were the monsters, the beast, the people who was indeed filthy animals, the ones that they try to make us be, turn us into. They the ones turned us into it, brothers and sisters. They programmed us. When they brought us here, it took them 64 years to do it. They programmed us. We still programmed today due to this. Due to what they did to us. We're still suffering from pre-existing trauma. From post-traumatic stress disorder. From our past. From what they did to us. What they're still doing to us. They did this to us every day. Day in, day out. 24/7, 365, relentlessly, continuously, non-stopping, no intent to stop. You see, no mercy, no remorse for us, no end date. You see, making progress, meaning they're still working on it after nearly 500 years, and they tormented and tortured us. They kept doing it, day in, day out, non-stop. You understand? No birthdays, no holidays, no celebrations, no nothing for you but misery, torture, torment. Because America is a terrorist nation. They're worried about everyone else. But what about them? They're the ones that's terrorists. And how do you maintain a terrorist nation? By inflicting terror on them. Which is exactly what they did. And they went a step further by giving us their religion, stripping us of all knowledge and giving us their religion to add to our programming, you see? So they gave us Christianity, which was designed to terrorize us with the threat of going to hell if we disobey Massa. It's a hell that never ends, an everlasting hell, torment and agony if you disobey Massa, you see? But there's no everlasting hell mentioned anywhere in Scripture. Only Christianity has this concept. No other religion teaches it because indeed Christianity is a religion. It's a terrorizing weapon. It's a torture device. You see, it was given to us. It wasn't given to us for our salvation. It was given to us. It was intended as a psychological weapon to terrorize us. Terror weapon directed at our mental brothers and sisters, at our mind, to terrorize us into absolute fear, total complete submission. You see, with the threat of this hell that don't exist if we don't obey Massa. You see, because they're the one putting the word in for us. So on your deathbed, when you were trying to make it into heaven, you asked Massa, please, make sure you put a word in for me, Master, please. And what do you think he did? He didn't do it. Because he was going to make an example out of you. No, boy. You not making it into heaven. You wasn't a good nigga. You didn't pick enough cotton. You didn't do what you're supposed to do, boy. So guess what? You're going to go to hell. That's where you belong. You see? That's what they did to you. No, please, Master. You see, begging. Ask him to put the request in for you, please. And he said, no. Now let this be a lesson to everyone else. You see? Terrorizing, torturing us all the way from the womb to the grave. From the womb to the grave. You understand, brothers and sisters? These people terrorizing us from the womb to the grave. Telling you not gonna make it. Terrorizing you psychologically. Taking you out. Programming you. Keeping you in control. Making sure you're a good nigga. See? Now they see that you... Oh, you see that brother? Master make sure he didn't put the word in for him. I gotta make sure I do good. I gotta make sure I get out here and pick this cotton. You see? Terrorizing you. Torturing you. Making sure that you be a good nigga. Pick extra cotton. Be extra friendly to master. Make sure you're a good nigga. Oh yeah, man. This master, that man. Make sure you do above and beyond your duty. See, it's part of your programming. To make sure you was good and washed up. Good brain washed up. Make sure your brains was good and washed up. You see? Make sure you was fully programmed. The best nigga in town. Brothers and sisters. These people are sick. These people are sick, man. So they don't tell you about these things because they're trying to hide all the things they did because they know they were wrong. They know what they did was wrong. And now they're under judgment for it. Everything you see taking place today, all the wars they're in, all this inflation and all this corruption and all these things taking place, all these things you see America being crushed right in front of your eyes. Everything's falling apart, you see. And they're about to be at war any day with all these countries and these other places that you see they can't back their way out of this. America's coming to an end because it has met its day, the day of judgment. It's being judged for what they did to us, God's chosen people. So now they're trying to hide. Now they're trying to mask up what they did. Now they're trying to put it on an area rug, but they ain't got a big enough rug to hide this mess. So now they're trying to get rid of the evidence. You see? They're trying to be friendly to us, come in a different angle, be nice to us, be in your face. And then when you turn your back, shoot you in your back. You see? They're trying to play kind and nice because they know they in hot water. And we just close to the boiling point, which is their ass. Which means that they're this close to getting what's due to them fully. You understand? That they're already getting what's due to them once COVID came. They knew exactly what time it was because COVID was affecting them. It passed over us. It wasn't for us. Said they'd be judged after 400 years. Exactly what happened. 1619, 2019, 2020 year, the judgment, COVID-19. Killed the firstborn, elderly, passed over us. Those lamb's blood didn't pass over them because the plague was for them. They shut their own system down. They knew what was going on. They was taught exodus out the womb. They knew they was under judgment. So now they start coming at us in different angles. First they was running at us with a knife. Now they coming at you behind you. They see they conniving and nice and befriending you just to stab you in the back when you turn around now. Because the plan is still to wipe you out, take you out of existence. The plan is still to get rid of you, the evidence of their crimes, and they're guilty. So the cost of horror, they're trying to get rid of, you see, they're trying to get rid of that. Because now it's time to pay the cost of what they've done. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're going to get started. I explained today, my topic is the 7 churches. It's a continuation. You can find this in chapter in the Injil, which is Revelations, chapters 2 and 3. We're still in chapters 2, before the abomination of desolation, as we explained yesterday. These events happen. The first 2 chapters, in chapter 2 is before these events that happen before the abomination of desolation, and then chapter 3 is after the abomination of desolation. So we're still in chapter 2. So we're going to move forward. Okay. Again, these are the 7 churches, brothers and sisters. Okay, these are the 7 churches. You have the one at the top, which is Britain, Ephesus. You have the one underneath them. You have the 2 witnesses, which is the original nation, the golden part of that nation, which is the original part on the biological side, which is their original. So they're the Muslim part, the Islamic part. You have the two witnesses, which is Pergamum and Smyrna, which is Syria and Iran. Then you have underneath them, you have Thyatira, which is false Israel. Then underneath them, you have Sardis, and you have Philadelphia and Laodicea, which is Russia, America, and EU. All right. And today, we're going to be speaking about the two witnesses, Pergamum and Smyrna, which is Syria and Iran. Okay. Now what we have here, so this is going to help identify. This is going to help you understand. Because remember, we're focusing on who's talking to who in what nation. So we talked about it yesterday about which individuals are talking to what nation. You see, who is talking to who. So we're focusing on who's saying what and who is he saying it to still today. So, but this is going to help you identify what I'm going to be talking about today. So this right here in front of you, brothers and sisters, is that lion throne that I was speaking about, which is showing the domination, the beast domination. The beast domination over the 24 elders. As you see the other nations within nations here. If you look at where the eagle is on the left and the right, in the lower bottom left and right, you see there's nations within nations. But if you look at the top, that's Iran and Syria. That's where, see, but there's no nations within them. See, so they have no domination over any other nation or any country. So yesterday I explained to you that it was Master Suleiman, it was Master Farad Muhammad, and Obama talking to these individuals. But since they don't have any domination over any countries, the only people that's going to be talking is Suleiman in the butt, which is Obama. So they're going to be directly talking to Iran and Syria because they don't have any domination, and Master Farad Muhammad is part of the Shia because those are his two witnesses. They call his two Shias. So he's already along with them. So he's with them. He's not, so he don't, you see, necessarily he's not talking to them because he's already with them. Okay, so, but let's look at this lion throne. You have the one in the middle. It's called a lion throne because they're lying. You see, they're false. False Israel. They're not, you see, they're false. False Israel, meaning not real. So it's a lion throne. So these are the people that are dominating, meaning these are the ones that have rule. So you have here, where the eagle is, to your right, that's where Britain would be. So Britain, as we explained yesterday, they control Asia for over 100 years, brothers and sisters. Then you go underneath them. You have EU, which is Western Europe. You have EU, and they're controlling Africa. So the Europeans colonized Africa for over 100 years. Then you go down to the bottom left, where you see where you see the face. This is Russia. This is Eastern Europe. They have control over the Oriental, the communism. They have ideological control over these people. So, and then you have the nation above, where the eagle is to the left. That is America, and America is controlling the original nation. They have control over the original nation, which is us, brothers and sisters. So this is the beast domination over the 24 elders. And the reason why they're 24 elders is because if you pay attention to the nation, where you see the calf, the lion, the face, and you see the middle part of each nation that's being dominated. And if you count the wings on each nation, there's 6. So you take 6 times 4, that's 24. So that's the 24 elders, brothers and sisters. And so in there, and the reason why is because they are the creation that came before the Caucasian people, before Adam. So Adam was the last creation, and they were the latest creation. You see, so they were already created. They were created before Adam. So the elders. So that's why they call the elders. And Adam is the newest creation. He's the last. So and it says the first should be the last, and the last should be the first. So Adam's the first to go. So that's going to help you understand what I'm about to say now. What I'm about to say next, brothers and sisters. Alrighty. Okay. So like I explained, since they have no beast doctrine, since they don't have any domination over any nations, any countries, Suleiman, which is the ear, is speaking to the two witnesses when they're at the top. When you see it on the key like this, they're at the top. And that's where Suleiman's talking to them at. That's where Suleiman is. He's always at the top of each nation. Then when they're at the bottom, as you see here at the bottom, they're at the bottom. They're at the bottom of all the nations right now. That's the butt section. That's where the butt is. The bottom, where Obama speaks at. Okay, and so we're going to identify, when you see Iran and Syria at the top of each nation, and when you see and this is before the abomination of desolation, so this means that this is when they had authority in the Middle East, brothers and sisters. This is when they had authority in the Middle East, as we explained, in 1948, in 1948 through 1990, before the Gulf War. And then you see that they still had authority. So then in 1991 to 2015, you see that now. Right, you see now. Well, matter of fact, excuse me. It's from 1991 to 2018. You see where they are. They're at the foot of the nations, meaning that they're under the nations around this time. So it means now, it's meaning that they don't have authority anymore. The people who have the authority from 1991 till then is false Israel. So false Israel has the authority. So they no longer run the Middle East. So in these positions at the top, Suleiman is talking to them. He's the ear. Then you have Obama talking to him, which is the butt. This is what's taking place before the abomination of desolation. Okay, so you have the first witness, which is Syria, which is Pergamum. And the first one speaking to Pergamum is Obama. Okay, brothers. So you have Obama, as you see, when they're positioned where Iran and Syria is under the foot of the nations, where they no longer have authority in the Middle East, and this is where Obama is speaking to them, the butt. So the chapter, it begins, it says, and to the angel. It says, and to the angel of the in Pergama of Ecclesia, write the butt. So right there is identifying that Obama is speaking. Write the butt. Write the butts. Identifying him speaking. Things is saying the one having the long sword, the two-mouthed, the sharp. So this is what he's saying to Pergamum. This is what he's saying to Syria. Then you have the next. Now you see that Iran and Syria, this one, this key, they're the top. meaning they do. This is when they had authority. So this is when Suleiman was speaking to him when they had authority for the abomination of desolation. Still speaking to Pergamum, which is Syria. So Suleiman the conquering, that's how you identify him. He's the one who's conquered the Injil. He's conquered the unsealed Bible. He's broken the seals. He's conquered it. So he's the one who's conquered 360 degrees of knowledge and wisdom. So he's the one conquering. So if you go down to the bottom here, it says the one having ear. This is identifying the head, which we explained yesterday, which is the ears at the top. So it means he's talking to Pergamum. He's talking to the one with the ear, which is Syria. So he said the one with the ear, let him hear what the Spirit. We explained yesterday, Spirit is the same thing as the conqueror, is Suleiman. He's the Spirit of the God. So he is the God. So it said the Spirit. So let him hear what the Spirit is saying. So Suleiman is talking what he is saying to the ecclesias. To the one conquering, Suleiman, I shall give him of the manna, the one having been hidden, and I shall give to him pebble white, and upon the pebble name new, having been written, which no one has known, if not the one receiving. So there you have it. You have Suleiman, the one, the Spirit, the conqueror, speaking to Pergamum, which is Syria. You can feel free to read this top. You can read it all the way through if you like, brothers and sisters. We're going to cover that another time. Okay, we're going to move forward. All right. So that was Syria. That was Obama and Suleiman speaking to Syria. So now we're going to move to Smyrna. Okay, Smyrna is is one of the second witnesses, which is Iran. So this is where Obama and Master Suleiman is speaking to Iran. Okay, so whenever Obama is speaking, they're at the bottom. So remember that. Obama is speaking to them, they're at the bottom, meaning they don't have the authority. So it says, and to the angel, the in Smyrna of Ecclesia, write the but. This is identifying him once again, the but, telling him that he's speaking. Things is saying the first and the last, who came to be dead one, and he lived. So we're just identifying what he's saying and who he's saying it to. So he's talking to Iran. Obama is talking to Iran, brothers and sisters. Okay. And here we have Suleiman the Conqueror, the Spirit. And he's talking to Smyrna, Iran. And Iran is at the top whenever he's speaking to him, because Suleiman is always at the top. So he's always speaking to everyone that's at the top. So this is when they had authority. So always remember that. The bottom is when they don't, the top is when they did. So you have it here. And it says, again, the one having ear. So it's letting you know on the key. You remember the key is like a body. You have the head, the arms, the legs. So the top is the head. That's where the ears will be. So it's identifying that he's talking to Iran. The one having ear. Let him hear what the Spirit, Suleiman, is saying to the ecclesias. The one conquering, Suleiman again. Explaining this is saying that Suleiman is talking. Not. The one conquering not. The one conquering not. Oh, hold on. Let me step back. It said the one having The one having ear, let him hear what the Spirit, which is Suleiman talking, is saying to the ecclesia. The one conquering not should be treated unrighteously out of the death, the second. So this is Suleiman saying the one conquering not, meaning he's not conquering, not should he be treated unrighteous out of the death, the second, which is speaking about China, which is the second, which is underneath this. If you see it on the key, they would be second underneath this nation. Underneath the European nation, they would be second underneath the European nation. So this is speaking about the war and death and things like that. But okay, so it's just, that's what it is today, brothers and sisters. We're just identifying who's talking to who, identifying that Suleiman and Obama is talking to the two witnesses, Iran and Syria, showing this is them talking to them before the abomination of desolation. If you need we can refresh your memory on what on what the abomination of desolation is, brothers and sisters. Remember, we spoke about this yesterday. The abomination of desolation is the event that's near, that's right around the corner, that's going to happen anytime soon. The war with false Israel in Iran and Syria. This is where they lose the war, which isn't supposed to happen according to Scripture. You see. So this position here, again, brothers and sisters, when you see this position, when you see Britain and America not alongside of false Israel, that means that they've been casted out. Meaning they've been thrown out the Middle East. Meaning that, you see, meaning that they were defeated, they were kicked out the Middle East, leaving false Israel isolated. And it says, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, know that destruction is near. So what does that mean? Who's the capital of Jerusalem? Who runs Jerusalem? Brothers and sisters, it's false Israel. False Israel is the capital of Jerusalem. It said, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, know that destruction is near. So the Injil tells us that they're going to lose the war. That false Israel is going to lose against Iran and Syria. Because I mean, hey, that's what's going to happen. They're going to lose because they're not the holy people. That's when that's when we speak about the abomination of desolation. The abomination is something that's not supposed to happen. Desolation is their destruction. So it's an abomination that they're sitting in the holy place where they're not supposed to be, impersonating being something they're not supposed to be, which isn't supposed to happen. Then their destruction, which isn't supposed to happen. That's an abomination of desolation, brothers and sisters, which is going to take place. They're going to lose the war, which no one's going to expect. Everyone's counting on the big dog to win. You see? Everybody's hoping that false Israel comes out on top because the world is structured around the idea that these people are God's chosen people, that they're the seed of Abraham, the true seed of Abraham. So the world is structured around that idea. So what do you think is going to take place when they lose the war, which isn't supposed to happen? Because it said once God puts the holy people in their land, they are not to be uprooted. They're supposed to be in peace and security, not to be uprooted or removed. So what happened when they were uprooted and removed, which isn't supposed to happen? It's going to send shockwaves to the planet. It's going to change everything that you know, everything. The way you know life as it now, it would never be the same. Things are going to change forever because the world is structured around this idea. So it means if these people aren't who they are, that means that the rapture didn't work. That means that the rapture didn't happen the way they intended. They intend on false Israel being snatched up by God into heaven instantly and destroying all their enemies. And then the Americans here, the pure, they think that they're pure white Christians. They think that they're holy. So they think that after they get snatched up, after false Israel is snatched up, they're going to get snatched up because they think that they're God's people. They think that God's coming back for them, the rapture. So what happens when God don't save false Israel? So that means they're not going to save the people in America. So that means now you find out that false Israel isn't who they claim to be, and they Satan. So what do you think so now you're going to find out that we have second claim, you see? So I mean, we're God's people, and it said, bless those who are blessed, but curse those who are blessed. So it's gonna instantly put a mirror right in front of America's face. They're gonna see who they are: hideous, skeleton, ugly, hideous beasts, monsters who were torturing, tormenting, raping, trying to kill God's people. See, you understand the situation that's at hand? This is gonna put them in that position, brothers and sisters. And they can't allow that idea to spread. They can't let that idea get out, brothers and sisters. So what do you think they're going to do? What would you do in this situation? You find that your whole life's a lie. Everything that you thought comes shattering right before your eyes. Everything that you had and the people you didn't want to have it is about to have everything you didn't want to have, and you're about to have nothing but death. What are you going to do? Find out you're a devil, monster. You see? When the envier becomes envious, find out he's getting nothing there, and the people who he didn't want to have nothing, who didn't have nothing, he's about to get everything, he's about to have nothing but death. He said he'd reach out from his grave, take you with him. You see? So our brothers and sisters, we are blessed. But said we'd be lost. Said my people are lost from the lack of knowledge. Meaning we'd be lost because we didn't have the proper knowledge. We didn't have the proper guidance. We lack thorough knowledge of self, brothers and sisters, which is our right mind, which is this NGO key, which is the NGO. This is giving you your right mind back. This is giving you the upper hand, the advantage that you're going to have over your enemies. This is the higher pressure that's going to destroy your enemies. And it said my people are lost from the lack of knowledge, not having this, not understanding this knowledge, brothers and sisters, not uploading this knowledge that you need. It's going to get you out of this reality. You see, it's going to get you. You have to have the high pressure. You have to be 100% with this message going home. You see, uploading this knowledge, getting your right mind back, brothers and sisters, being able to identify your enemies, being able to read prophecy, giving you foresight, insight on what's taking place before it take place, give you the advantage, the upper hand. You see, to see what's coming so you can avoid it. You see, raising awareness to your people, telling your people that they're blessed, that these people are coming to kill us because they're going to find out who we are once false Israel lose that war, which is coming anytime soon, which is about to happen because Iran has nuclear, they have enough uranium to power their nuclear weapons. They already have the bomb. They already have everything set up. And that was the only thing that was keeping false Israel, keeping them in power, keeping them people afraid of them because they had that weapon that no one else had, that nuclear weapon that no one else had. So now Iran has it. So now Iran is an existential threat to false Israel, meaning that their lives, their well-beings are being threatened. Their life is on the line. You see? And they can't use that bomb. False Israel can't use that bomb on Iran because they'll just use it back. Difference is Iran's a bigger country, a bigger nation than false Israel. False Israel is so small. So if false Israel go to hit them with a nuclear bomb, it's gonna blow up a piece of Iran. But if Iran fired back, it'll blow up false Israel completely up. So they know they can't do that. See, that's an existential threat to their well-being, meaning they're gonna be eliminated. So that means someone has to move first, because someone has to make a move. Because you understand that the NGO, if you understand what the JCPOA agreement is, an agreement to not go to nuclear, to keep the peace. You see, to keep the peace with nuclear war. It's a nuclear agreement to not use nuclear weapons and all that in that deal. And they're waiting on Iran to sign it, and they haven't signed it. So that means that war is imminent if they don't sign it, because America's already made the initiation that they're going to back false Israel, and they're not threatening them. They're telling them what they're going to do if they don't sign it. That is war. So they haven't signed it, so they're telling you that it's war, and and Iran has these nuclear weapons and the bomb. They're ready to go. You see, and false Israel's been quiet, and they're trying to make their move. So things about you see, we're at the boiling point. We're close to the boiling point, brothers and sisters. We're getting close to it. Things about to happen because false Israel is being threatened. Their life, their very existence is being threatened. So they have to make a move. But it said that the God of our time, Master Prophet Muhammad, will make a move before them. This is when he intervenes on our behalf. He said if those days weren't shortened, then no soul will be left alive. What did that tell you, brothers and sisters? He had to shorten those days of no soul, or else no soul will be left alive. Meaning that these people can try to nuke the planet. So he had to shorten those days and intervene on our behalf so he could save our lives, or no soul will be left alive. So he had to intervene first. He had to move out before they do. So this is going to happen anytime. This can happen now. It can happen tomorrow. You see? It can happen anytime. He said no one would know. No one knew the time, the day. But God himself. Not even the Son knew. So no one knows this exact date with him. But we in that time, brothers and sisters, where it's about to happen, where this event is about to happen. And things are going to change forever after this event, because you have to understand the world structure around this idea. So people about to find out who they truly are after this event. And they'll find out who you are. And you're in charge of their judgment. And you're the reason why they're going through all these things. So just put 2 + 2 together, brothers and sisters. Add it up. What do you think they're going to do to you? They find out that you're in charge of the judgment and you're the reason why they're being judged. What do you think is going to happen to you, brothers and sisters? That's why you need this knowledge. That's why you need thorough knowledge of self. That's why you need to understand your reality. It's mathematics. And understand how mathematics works. That's reality, the low pressure reality. But if you get the NGO, which is high pressure, the highest pressure in the universe, high pressure eliminates low pressure. So that's going to be your weapon to destroy your enemies. Getting this thorough knowledge of self, uploading the NGO. You see? Following the 5 mathematical pillars of Islam, which is your protection from all evil, separating from these people, getting out of here, preparing, being equipped with what you need to go home, get you in the Lamb's Book of Life. Said those who were not found written in the Lamb's Book of Life were thrown into the lake of fire. Meaning you had to stay back in the tribulations when all these things start to happen. When China and India invade America and all these things, you have to suffer all these things that you don't have to suffer. Meaning that we're going into a time of unprecedented trouble, a time like no other never will there be, worse than the Holocaust, due to what they did. So you don't have to suffer those things because you already went through the Holocaust. But we're going into a time worse than the Holocaust because it said that all their plagues and all their crimes would overtake them in 1 year. Meaning that everything we suffered, they're going to suffer in 1 year. It's going to be compressed and squeezed into 1 year. So it's going to be so intense. That's why it's worse, because the intensity of it. It's going to be squeezed into 1 year. We endured it over 466 years and counting. You see, we endured nearly 500 years of all that torture and torment. They're going to endure it in 1 year. Can you imagine that? It said children be gray-headed. It said men's hearts are filled from what's to come. It said that the woman, they said it said it'd be famine. You see, no food. These people don't have any discipline. Cannibalism is going to lead to cannibalism. People be eating one another. Children going to be gray-headed, running from their parents because their parents want to eat them. People going to be eating their pets, eating their children before they eat their pets. People be eating everybody. Anybody they can get their hands on. They're so hungry. It says that a woman would give birth in silence during this time to eat the baby in the afterbirth. That's how hungry people are going to be. It won't be any electricity. It won't be any oil. You see, because it's an industrial complex. And this war, that's another thing. Biden just gave away all the America's oil reserves to their enemies. You see? And then they're going to war. They're going to war They get all the oil from the Middle East and Russia. You see? And so after this war happened, you gotta remember false Israel lose, so they don't expect that. So they don't have any oil reserves right now. And once false Israel lose that war, Iran and Syria is back in authority, and those are the people that they were going against. So they're not getting any oil from the Middle East anymore, and they can't get from Russia because they're gonna blame the war on Russia. So they're gonna be at war with Russia, and then EU's gonna change. See, they partner. EU gonna switch on them, gonna trade on them because they don't want to freeze to death. They don't want to die. You see, and they can't go against Russia because they can't. That's gonna be their only oil supply, and they're not about to die behind some policy that America is standing behind. So they're gonna trade on America. America's gonna lose all his friends. America's gonna be done for. You see, closed out. Gonna be cut off from all nations. Gonna suffer. See, they're not going to have any oil. There's one last place they can get oil, but they're not going to be able to get it in time before people start freezing to death. People start eating one another. It's going to be too late. The whole economic system is going to fall apart overnight. Things are just going to collapse. Brothers and sisters, this is not a game. We're headed into a time where America has met its day, and we're prepared to get out of here. It's time to go home. You don't have to suffer what the enemy has. You don't have to suffer what the enemy is suffering, brothers and sisters. Because this is his judgment. This is made for him. All you have to do is understand that you're blessed. Understand that read the Abrahamic covenant saying that you will be going home. You're getting out of here. You're leaving. Not staying here in the land of your imprisonment. Not inheriting the land of your imprisonment, the land of your oppression. The place is going to be engulfed in flames. It's about to be destroyed. You see? It's being crushed right in front of your face. You want to get out of here. You want to be destroyed with your enemies. You won't have to suffer the things that's coming, brothers and sisters. You want to get out of here. Okay. All right. Okay, so with that said, brothers and sisters, that's all I had today. These are the 7 churches. We're in chapter 2. This position is when America and Britain get kicked out of the Middle East. False Israel goes under siege right before they're taken out. The abomination of desolation. Then they get taken out. That's when reality changes forever. America's at war. America's at war with Russia, EU. You have Britain thrown to the sea. He's at war with China. China defeats the firstborn, which is Britain, Adam. And they're on their way after all these plagues and all these things that were said to come in Exodus. America's going to suffer all these great things. After surviving that, then China and India is going to roll in with a 200 million man army, killing and taking the people that's left into captivity to torment them in the northern part of Europe in hell, where America's going to get their full payment of consequence of the cost of horror. They're going to pay the cost of horror. You see, the full consequence is going to be paid for what they've done. They didn't get away with anything. They said what was done to us will be done to them. A double scoop. So that's what's going on, brothers and sisters. And you are truly blessed. All you have to do is upload this knowledge. Get out of here. Be blessed. Get this thorough knowledge of self. Understand mathematics. Understand that your reality is consequence. Understand all these things. Your enemies. Get away from these people. Upload this knowledge. You see? Get your protection. Make sure you're doing your protection. Make sure you get away from these people that's trying to destroy you and stop you from getting your reward and make one of you stay here and lay your imprisonment. These devils, these demons, Farrakhan, Ishmael, Eric, Silas. You see? Seventh angel, all these people that's in the way of the message. Time anchors, people that's holding you back. You see, the people holding on to the message of the black man. People holding on to all these outdated books and all this knowledge and all this philosophy and all these things. You see, people telling you whatever they want, opinions. beliefs telling you just making up stuff. If it's not the Injil, it's not the truth. It's only one truth in life. It's the Injil. Master Suleiman. He's the only one giving the truth. If you haven't heard it from him or the Injil warriors, then it's not the truth. So anything, even if it's 1% a lie, it's a lie. You understand? So if it's not 100%, if it's 99% truth, it's still a lie. That's don't matter. You see, it has to be. It's only one truth, and that truth is the Injil. It's only one light, and that light is gonna be Injil for the time of intense darkness, for the time of unprecedented trouble, triple darkness. It's only one light, which is the Injil. So that's your light. That's your guidance out of here. The house is on fire. We know the way out, and we're trying to get as many of our people out. That's the goal, to get our people out of here. So with that said, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna bring this to a close. Thank you for listening to me. Assalamu alaikum.